Alright, so my thing at the moment is that I'm really enjoying Firebrand. And I know we want to keep the game variety up to some extent. But I might do a couple more. I don't know. We'll see. So today played 2 games. First was really miserable because basically every single engagement we lost. However, I had Firebrand Scourge, me being the Firebrand, and I let my Firebrand down at a play near Beast. And by about half a second missed my Signet of Mercy in the end, and the entire game was horrible after that, truly horrible. So this is the second of the 2 games. The first one I lost, and if you lose right after doing placements, it's really punishing. So I lost 32 rating for losing my first game after placements. So I'm still in Plat 1 at the point of this game. Sorry, just Plat. But I'm at the very bottom now. 1 more loss, and I'm into Gold. Which never feels good. I very rarely in previous seasons actually drop down to golds. So you don't really want to go on a lose spree right after finishing placements. You want to, you know, do something good. So I really cared about winning this one. So here you can see at the start, I'm mousing over Chapter 4 Scorched Aftermath. Some advice from you guys. This is an actual mechanical thing I didn't really know. But check this bad boy out. Scorched Aftermath and the 5 packets of damage actually count to baseline 2.3, which is a high number. You see that genuinely is a good cleaving skill. I didn't even really realize or appreciate this had flat damage on it. I thought it was just a bit of burn. I didn't even realize it had bleed on it, to be honest with you. Fire and blood, it says. Anyway, so yeah, this is great for cleaving bodies, and the main thing I was excited to try today was this. Now, the game I'd lost, that you guys aren't seeing here, I did get to use it a bit. And well, I want to continue that here. But basically, you drop the 4 in the auto, and you can really cleave quite hard. And I think this game, win or lose, will actually demonstrate this quite well. So, yeah, anyway. And that's what the giant fire field here is as well. One of the most ridiculous visual effects, honestly. But the other thing you can do, because it's a fire field, is I wanted to check the timing of that at the start. You can drop the skill 4 and then blast in it with the staff. Like, it's kind of profound, actually, because now you've got a blast for the water fields, for the light field, and for the fire fields. You can do a variety of things. Anyway, here, pre-game lobby, what I'm doing, really important on a Firebrand game, is checking the comps. Now, it's really important here because stacking too many supports is a terrible idea in Conquest. So basically, I'm looking to see if there's any on my team, in which case I might be prompted to swap, to see who my big carries are that I should really try to cling to. And I see I've got a Scourge, and also the enemy team. But it's kind of tricky because the devs still don't have elite specialization icons on here for whatever obscene reason I don't understand. So I don't know whether this is a Reaper or a Scourge. I don't know whether this is Core, DH, or Firebrand, and it's silly. But anyway, so just mousing through, having a bit of a look. And yeah, the game will begin. A little bit of clunkiness on the tomes here today, you're going to see. However, in general, I've really started to sort of find the flow for the class again. Getting used to spamming the 2 for the Aegis and Taunt, for example. Getting used to not spamming the autos where I don't need it. So here I'm using F1 for quickness for the 2 Manchas. And the plan is to go for a big might. Just pressure and might on the node as soon as I start. So I throw Ashes the Just up early. Then I'm going to come onto the node very quickly. I don't like clustering on the node, but the plan is to come on the node very quickly, drop this straight away because I want to play with it, and then immediately drop the whole tome, quickness, empower, and blast in the field. And then we can get into the fight. Get into the F3 quick to put people prot on them, because this is going to be an explosive team fight here. So that's the plan. And we'll just play this through. We get the fire field. We're empowering. We're doing good. Oh, I've been hit pretty hard. Let's get that star 5 down so that we can interrupt as they walk through my guys. This looks pretty good because there's 2 of them here. A dodge roll onto them with the mantra here. A bit of stab. We can go into the F2 even now because people are getting hit pretty hard. This should be good. Here we go. Let's get the F2 up. Oh, and I'm dead. And I look here and I've actually been killed with a point blank shot. So the Soul Beast off node has killed me with a flat pressure that I know he's very glassy just from the fact that this skill is up. And I died super quick. I know I paused here so it might feel slower, but that's pathetic. So bad. And I'm going to look at my damage log here as well. And now I notice, oh my god, that guy's dead as well. And what it is, it's Zergin on the node. This guy's dead. Awful, awful, awful start. And I'm thinking to myself, no, this is so bad. I get cleaved so quickly too that I can't even use the symbol to like sustain the bodies a bit to allow my one surviving guy to like rally us on something. So I get killed. I mean, wow. I notice again there's a guardian here with the great swords. And so I look, I've eaten a winter's bite. That's the Axe 3, the big explosion. Looks like I face tanked this, but that could have been in... these don't show downstate, I don't think. And also, that's an enemy scourge or mesmer that's applied a ton of condi pressure. Lots of torment, lots of burning. Could equally be either of them. We don't know just yet. Actually, was the mesmer... Yeah, the mesmer wasn't the engagement. Could have been a combo of the both of them. Anyway, not looking good, right, guys? Instant wipe. But it's okay, you know, it's not the worst thing in the world. We've had many games that we've demonstrated that losing the first mid is not the be-all and end-all. Well, one of the reasons we lost that was a numbers thing. You'll actually notice that what we've done is managed to decap, and we successfully fended off at close. So we've come out of this in, with a, you know, equal standing. They're ahead because they got 15 points on kills on us. But generally speaking, it's not the end of the world. Here, you'll see something very rarely done on most classes. Well, no, that's not true. It depends what level you're playing at and, like, how much you need to regroup. But here, I'm recasting my mantras out of the F3. And you might be already thinking, WP, don't use the F3 for the mantras. But no, because if we've just wiped in mid, there's a chance they could have harassed hard up here. And I'm actually going to utilize these on spawn. And I also know I have a truncated spawn coming out. I've got 3 players here, all to support as soon as we come out. So what you'll notice, I even stay on the ledge. And the point is, I'm going to get my mantras up real quick. And we are going to go guns blazing straight back in. And I'm actually holding on the ledge here. I don't jump off the edge. I wait, and I'm going to see who do I want to support. I find my scourge. And the resolve here is to push up. So I do auto for swiftness here just to get us further forwards. You see that there's 2 across. Now, I would push that with this scourge. I reckon we could get that. But the scourge doesn't like his odds. He turns around. Now, that's smart because he sees, you know, risk and that there are people holding the line. It's even smart for the red team to an extent to push forward and watch for that intercept. So this is all a good situation you're looking at here. However, the only thing this guy might not have comprehended is that he has a Firebrand seeking to support him here. And he might not realize how balls deep he can go. So I dropped the 5 because I'm hoping, look, you have lots of boons and a buff as well. You can do things. But he decides to keep, you know, flighting around, walks towards close, which is overzerged. And I'm stuck to him, right? I hesitate and swing my camera. I look to the Soul Beast over there to see if he needs any help. He doesn't. You'll notice he was a little bit low. That's why I did that. We are being conservative with our pages here. Just enough to keep this Scourge going forward. The Scourge random dodges. Don't know why. I think he's doing it for speed. He comes to the node. So, I precast, so we already had Aegis on us. I dropped the 5 here, which refreshes. We get a block. I'm going for another block straight away. I don't know what kind of build we're against, so I drop this if it's a Condi Thief. We've got a guard behind us as well. I could use the bubble. I do. So, you got that. Now, this Thief is on pistols, you notice, and the bubble will be good because it means the Thief can't do any pressure. But I notice now that my guy's been hit really hard, and I don't, in the moment, look up here. But the fact he's been hit really hard and I haven't seen many animations, in my head at the moment, was either that he'd been hit really hard by the guard, and I still don't quite know what the power level of the meta is and stuff right now. I know that people are glassy and bursty, I just don't know to, like, what extent. So, I don't know whether it's the guard, and remember, we're coming off of the back of dying really quickly at point B, and I don't know. So, maybe it was him, or I do also comprehend it could be a trap. Because the trap would proc even through the bubble. The trap would proc with all that stuff. Looking here, I can now confirm to myself 100% it is the trap. And it is that he's condied hard. You'll also notice here in post-commentary, I don't see this, and I mentioned this before, I'm not very good at looking at signet animations. This here, though, as I look in post-commentary, that's a plague signet the Scourge has procced above his head. Now, if you as a player can get used to that, this would have been really awesome information for me to know. What this Scourge is trying to do is send all of his condis back to his target. Amazingly, though, that signet isn't going to work. It hasn't reflected the condis. I wonder now if it didn't reflect the condis because of a blind from this guy or something. But anyway, so he's still condied out the ass. And what my job to do is to heal him through this. So this is all pure sustain, sustain, sustain. And I'm only just holding him in. At this point, I know that it's condis. I come into the F2, which on equip, I think should be cleanse. Or maybe not. But it depends how you trait, right? But I use this too, which is cleanse plus heal for condis cleansed. So I do that. And that is a really, really important one. I start spamming my autos, and this is kind of a beautiful little situation here, because what you're going to see is I'm just furiously supporting my guys, And as time goes forward, all of a sudden, all these bodies start appearing. That's what it's like to really play a Firebrand. That's what you're hoping for. Just your guys keep pressuring and pressuring and pressuring and trust that you'll keep them in it. And indeed, that happens. We get a plus, which is totally unnecessary. And then we charge around and we kill him with the Scymoth. Awesome. So, yeah, the tome as we wanted to play with it. And now I realize I'm just being greedy for a kill that I don't need to. We could avoid it. But, yeah. So, anyway, I throw one last little heal on my Scourge. I'm not sure how safe he is, but watch how he went to the node and he said, look, I got this. I'll watch for that first respawn as you rotate back to me. And he's allowed me to rotate up, so I'm actually quite happy with this. I throw a symbol back there for a bit of swiftness if he wants it. I'm looking for the next guy to support. This guy. I MI over to him. I realized that I never reprocced my mantras. So here, there's a mesmer that's just pistoled me. Now, if the mesmer's on axe, and I don't know this at the time, but if he's on axe and he's going to try and ambush me through the wall with that axe 3, if you drop a staff line and stand in it, he and all his clones will get interrupted, and it's the most awesome thing ever. So, I opt to stability, rechannel my mantras in the staff, just in case the mesmer pushes me. It becomes very apparent very quickly he's not going to push me. I don't refresh this other mantra here. This is bad. Should have noticed that. And now, sorry, in the moment, Mia's already retargeted. Jesus. I should pause a bit more on this one, right? So, I realized that there's not too much high pressure going on here necessarily. I mean, there is actually. There's a mesmer I could spot. But remember how just a second ago I said I'd rotate away from the Scourge, but the implicit idea is I'd come back if he needs a bit of help and we'd hold that front line there, especially if he gets outnumbered. Because remember, we just scored 2 kills here, so there's 2 kills due on respawn. Well, I always had that in mind, even when refreshing my mansion and looking to see what other opportunities I had. So I come back. I've been looking back, and I see that my Scourge is in a fight. Now, the Scourge, to be truthful, has not done well. This isn't completely my bad. The Scourge is down, right? Now, you could say, oh, WP, you were late on Firebrand, and I should hate myself for being late on Firebrand there. But that's not actually true, because the Scourge died extremely fast. Now, the Scourge should change his gameplay a little bit while he's in waiting for me, where he can continue fight, but he should be a bit more flighty. He should be LOSing. This is Skyhammer, for Christ's sake. You don't need any build potential to kite well. You can just use the teleports and stuff. So it's kind of the Scourge's bad here more than mine, because he did die very quickly. But I am late nonetheless. Now, what can we do? What can we do? What can we do while he's downstate? Well, we have basically Signet of Mercy, because I already MI'd away, if you remember. So, I know that there's likely a stomp or something in progress. This is a fear, and we're about to see that the Necro did land his fear. So the opponent messes up here by not safe stomping or dodging. The easiest thing to dodge in the entire downstate game, right? So we take our opportunity. This could be a massive waste of a cooldown here, but I go with the Signet of Mercy as soon as I can, as soon as I get line of sight. I go with the Signet of Mercy, and the idea is if this Guardian just attacks, this was a complete waste of a cooldown and a terrible idea. I don't know what happens if I cancel cast at the end if it goes on full cooldown. Here we go. So Signet of Mercy. He does the attack. The Scourge is actually doing all right. And we get the Mercy res right at the last seconds. So we go straight into the 5. We drop this in case the guy goes for a Greatsword 5. And he swapped to Sword. And this completely messes up his Sword 3. In fact, he cleaves himself. I give Aegis. I taunt the attacks onto me. My guy's used his heal skill. So I know I don't need to go onto F2. We can go straight to F1 now. I throw the retail out there, which was a waste. I go straight to F1, and we can blow him up with the F1, but we got a plus as well there from the Ranger. I wish the Ranger didn't plus us here, and he was actually at mid supporting the Mesmer that also needed saving, but whatever. So, yeah, now I realize, oh, well, there's no point doing that damage to the rotted body. I target this guy in the moment. I don't ping him. But that's me thinking, oh, don't shoot him. Just leave him there. It's fine. Anyway, so now I come back, and now I'm in a weird place because I kind of... Like, we've had some successes. Wherever I go, we've had successes, aside from the original opening where we lost. But people are not claiming territory that well elsewhere, and there are still defeats going on elsewhere. And so I'm wondering, like, where do we want to push? What do we want to do? I couldn't save this Mesmer, you see. This guy's low, so I MI over, give him some support. We cleave near him and catch the Mesmer down. That was actually our tick of burning there that blew that guy up there. We get our Manchas rolling. I cancel cast the summon of my elite. I actually think what's happening in this game, and it's pretty cringeworthy, but I think what's happening is I think that Mancha's channeled right now, and I've not actually probably looked at the icon. Too busy looking at other stuff. So anyway, this guy pushes up to the Scourge. I like this. I'll help you kill this Scourge. No worries, mate. Let's do it. It's a 2v1, but we can outnumber for a second because we do have downs on the board from their side. So I go for a bit of might. I know that cleanse is really important here. So here, cool little moment, I realize I'm tormented really hard, and I've been hit really hard. I've got no cleanse open. So I stand still. I stop using WASD because that reduces the damage the torment gives me. And I go into Tome F3, and I'm going to drop the skill 4, which is a resistance field. And I just and now that I've got resistance on me, I can move again. Go straight back to the taunt plus Aegis. I'm happy to see that this guy has mitigated the pressure himself. And again, we hang on. And the body goes down. Here, I had no way of giving stab or Aegis. And look at this. Look at this. Did you see? Let me just repause that. It's very little things that tip you off to know people are on the ball, right? These people know a bit better how to play with a Firebrand. Because look, I'm walking. We're both walking right now. And look who stopped first. He actually stopped moving first. And then I did because I didn't know what it was doing. Then I moved forward again. But look, he knows. He knows. You can rotate off Mr. Firebrand. And he lets me. So what happened here? Well, they reclaimed close. The enemy team hasn't even considered going back to point C. But we lost at Skyhammer. So if I dropped down, I could have supported this. Now here, I come to Skyhammer myself. Which is a dead engagement. And I know this as I go in. However, first of all, I have someone else pinging this. So I know that someone wants someone there. Second, I know I can kite this for a while and delay it. Third, you remember that ranger that was just capping mid? He can come with me, or the Scourge can come with me. All I need to do is hold this for a second. So this isn't me actually saying I want a 1v1. This is me saying I'll hold it for a second until people get here. Enemy team does neutralize up there in the end. But you see that they're pressured to get everywhere, so they don't go for full cap. They push up, and I think that's an okay play from there. Anyway, so since I am in a bit of a 1v1 here, and I was on full health and stuff and cooldowns, I do engage with the F1, and I'm just checking the pressure again. So I drop the 4. I auto him a few times. I eat his worldly impact, which is kind of terrible. Now this guy jumps in, and all of a sudden I'm like, oh my god, this hurts. This is really bad. So I start playing in full kite mode. I have to pop this to cleanse the immob so that I can start LOSing and whatnot. I get off of the node, okay, and I notice that I've got my assistance, right? And it's the Scourge. So this is good. Nice little combo here. By coming up to this, I've forced them to, like, retarget. The Thief is going to be annoyed trying to fight me. So he's going to look back to my guy, and then I'll jump back in. So I'm not going to leave. I'm just going to stand here for a second. The Star 4 was probably bad. That's going to be out of range, isn't it? Star 5 is nice again, though. We can dodge roll onto the Scourge. I go immediately for the cleanse, knowing that we have the Thief with us here. And, you know, there's likely to be a lot of Condi rolling around. Look at our health here, the boons that we've applied. We just roll a bit more cleanse. They're all melting. They're melting worse than we did at the mid at the opening. I throw out an Azure Sun because I kind of forgot that was a skill. Wasn't really necessary. And there I am mousing over it to remember what it actually does. And yeah, so there you go. It's another swiftness applicator for what it's worth. So the fight's done. I don't need to stay there. I notice I've got a low mesmer nearby, but he's also in stealth, and I don't think that he's going to get pressured too hard. I'm wondering what node I want to go to, who I want to support. I'm just waiting for something to open. Here I see the Thief's going for a decap. And again, this is the reverse of what we had a second ago. I went to hammer, waiting for people to come because I knew they'd be nearby. Here, I'm coming to mid, knowing that people will come after the hammer. I also, because we just capped the hammer, know that I've got lightning bolts that are going to come down and help make this safe for me. So here, F1 again for the pressure. Like, it's the exact same thing. He goes into Dagger Storm, which is an evade now, which I remember. So I stop attacking and I dodge myself. To, you know, I may as well. He's evading. I can't do anything, so I may as well evade. Just stop him hitting me so much with the Condi, I guess. Anyway, so yeah, look, we get the support in. The Necro came here like clockwork, like I wanted. Here there was a stealthed mesmer. Did you see that? So I taunt here straight away, hoping that I can interrupt him in some way. He comes out without having burst or done anything, so I'm not sure about that. I remember we got pistol 5'd by him before. We dropped the bubble on him, or we attempt to. We dropped the 5 and straight into the resistance as well. That's important. The mesmer, meanwhile, what I was actually watching at the moment, this was all just muscle memory kind of thing. This was, oh, I know I'm against Condi. I'll get my big animations out, basically. What I was actually watching was his Staff 2, which was his Scepter 2, sorry, which was ready to block and then put a ton of Torment out. So I tried to make sure that doesn't land. Here on the post commentary, I see that it didn't land. It must have been blocked with Aegis or something. Awesome. So now I can just, you know, keep rolling the dodges, the pressure, the Aegis. Straight back into the quickness and power or attempt. I don't think I'm actually getting these. The Star 5 again to throw him off. There, you literally saw him Axe 2 there and get interrupted by it. stand up and might try something else. But we're all good. And look. So there you go. That's easy little 2v2. We don't want to stay here too rapidly. Once again, I'm the one that rotates off. But they've actually succeeded at close now. And you'll notice that with the hammer win, with the prior close win, and now this, that's 3, like, both halves of the team have succeeded. So there's the mesmer fleeing, which I think we were actually scanning for because we knew he was fleeing. He's going into all of our players, so I'm not too concerned. Heal this guy up, support him. What I can actually do here is Azure Oasis there to give him some swiftness. I don't. That might have been nice for him. Here I'm in F1, just stacking these things. The autos in F1 were completely irrelevant. The other thing I've not really done here is do the pull, which would be kind of nice. So anyway, here's the guy. I drop the fire field in the choke, so they have to come up through it. Get out of the time nice and quick now. Take a dodge to heal people. Empower again straight away. They're going back to the hammer. I don't feel the need to rush it too hard. We come in. We have way too many numbers here. So can you see this? I'm considering leaving because we have way too many numbers. Right as I do that, this guy comes in. So I think, oh, maybe this is okay. Then this guy comes in. And I didn't notice that in the moment. So we proper zerged the hammer here. But it's bad to zerg this heavy. We're 2v4 right now, or 4v2. But they did claim sides, so this hammer is a good hammer to get because it immediately re-neutralizes and stabilizes our lead again, which is tenuous. So anyway, I pressure. I'm considering leaving again, and now these attacks have started coming in. And you see that so worst thing in the world for the red team here. Major mistake for the red team. The red team just 2v4'd, wiped, and 2v4'd. And what's going to happen? They're going to wipe. This is a staggered. This is like what happens on like Legacy, where you get an individual respawn, just keeps walking into mid and dying, and it's staggered. You never get that united front again, that united assault, like they did so well with at the start. This is 2v4s back to back. Awful. This mesmer and this ranger, oof, painful stuff. So I just keep supporting, and in a way, we've just won a 4v4 here for free. They've given us that, given that to us. Now I get their intensity at coming down because they want to preserve this double cap, but and I'm not even sure off the top of my head while I try and analyze this game and talk to you about it. I know what the best play for the red team was here. Maybe that's something fun to talk about in the comments here. You see my guys low, but also I know that they're all wiped, so I just move out. I also see that the one guy we had remaining on the board died. He died at mid to a thief. So I'm racing back to mid now to try and see if I can save that. I do have MI for this. So the thief stealths. I'm going to MI, press F to do a knockback. And then I'm actually going to cancel cast because this body was really low and poisoned. And I don't... on the old build, you could run the cleanse mantra, which would... you could cleanse the poison on the body and you'd be fine. Now, what's going through my mind, though, is I don't have F1 up for another interrupt. I guess I have shield. I didn't think of this in the moment. I could have gone for a standard res here and just shield knockbacked when I anticipate another stealth. But what I'm expecting is the thief will stealth stomp, because this is going to be a long res, because my res potential is diminished because of the poison, and he started quite low. So, and what I could have done is resed and then just shield knockbacked and I would have been fine. And in the future, I would probably do that. However, I don't think of shield in the moment. So, instead, what I think will get me through this quick enough is a mercy res. So, I cancel cast straight, and this might be a bad idea because it's a high cooldown. But I stop immediately and start mercy. And here's mercy. And you remember the green circle was about here. We're playing with a mesmer here. The mesmer uses his downstate 2. The circle was this. No, why? No! The nightmare! And the thief wasn't even. So, again, here's another mistake. This is actually my mistake. Well, it's his because he didn't see Signet of Mercy come in. But what I did was a really weird play there. I have a feeling he would have spammed that skill anyway. But here's the thing. It's kind of my mistake because what I should have known in the moment is he's a mesmer and he might be able to delay the stomp. Even if I had comprehended that, this downstate might have been for ages. He might already be on cooldown with it and I wouldn't know. Because obviously I've been focusing on hammer and I only just came up. So I feel like mine was a reasonably safe play. But because of that slight thing there, I don't get the res and basically waste mercy. So now we just go for heals. And here we see that the thief was being pressured by the mesmer hard enough that he died anyway. So all of it was just a little bit of rigmarole. And that's a third thing I didn't consider, that, you know, the thief was really low. So I don't need to do much. We're rotting bodies well as well here. I really like the way that the blue team's played with me here. Drop that in the choke. Don't want any shenanigans with that body. That keeps the body rotted the maximum amount of time, but also makes it clear to them that they shouldn't just charge in and try and res it. Obviously, I get point blank shotted or whatever, and I'm in a weird position. I'm pushing back now to far, where I see the next big engagement is. We're really decidedly winning now. We've got a real snowball on. One of our guys was low. I take the merciful intervention purely for the purpose of a heal. Might be bad. That's another thing I'm going to start looking into refining as we go forwards. Reflect Bubble is prioritized because of the Soul Beast. In truth, he's just got used his Warhorn 5 anyway, so he'll go through it, but whatever. We also have a Pistol Thief around, so it's a good skill to use. And just what you're watching now, I don't have to pause very much. It's just kind of standard Firebrand support stuff, really. With better skill prioritization than in the past 2 days, just because I'm sort of de-rusting a bit. There's the star 5 against the Mesmer again. They just lose a staggered 3v3. They're the ones that are staggered, obviously. And because of that, we clean the whole board now. All I got to do is just race back to mid to help them a bit, but even they've won that engagement. So now we're just going to be watching respawns. That's it. We claim the whole map. That's the full snowball there. The full Monty, baby. And yeah, we just watch, see where they're going. Looks like one's going back to C. Looks like the rest have given up and have decided to go AFK. And yeah, so there you go. This one is a win. I'm not cherry-picking wins. I'm just cherry-picking... If I play the 2 games, I'm picking the one where there's just what I think better things to talk about. The other game did have an interesting moment where I was kiting with a ranger on far. It was a Legacy of the Foe fight, a Forest of Niflhel game, which is actually my favorite map. So, you know, there were some interesting things about it, but because every single engagement was a loss long before I could even get to most of them, it was kind of just a bit of a nightmare, really. So I've gone with this one instead. Here I start using the pull a bit just to annoy the guy. He throws up Sikkim. What weakness applicators do I have? Do I have any weakness applicators? Maybe none. We'll see. But there you have it, guys. And interesting top stats on this one as well. So, we do reclaw from the brink of gold. I mean, we really were on the brink of gold. Equally, you lose a lot of rating, but you also gain a lot. So here I got 21, which is a lot of rating for me, I feel like. Usually, I balance out to a point around the Plat 2 border. As I say, mostly I'm here. This is like my section. And when I'm at this border, usually I end up only getting like 10 rating a game, maybe 8. So 21's really nice. Not as crazy. I mean, I lost 36 and only get 21 for the win. But top stats, we actually get the top heals, top kills as well. So that doesn't actually mean we did, you know, we were responsible for every single kill, obviously. But it means that I used that F1 enough to tag things and actually contribute to those fights offensively, which is a nice thing. I mean, only 100k damage, obviously, is pathetic. But yeah, we contributed to the most kills than anyone else in the entire match. That means we were at all the big engagements, right? All the big team fights, we were there, and that's a good sign. It's not a great thing, obviously. I'd rather other people be scoring that skirmishes, people rotating and +1ing a lot. But I guess we don't have too much mobility on this comp. And then, yeah, 2 revives, 43 on the defense score. Even had quite a bit of offense score there with the 1 death at that opening mid, which was kind of nasty. So anyway, there you go, guys. That's Game of the Day today. Another Firebrand one. I'm still having a lot of fun on it, but I know you guys appreciate the multi-classing, so I might go back to a Reaper game or something, chew some faces up, and we'll see how that goes. Thanks, everybody. See you tomorrow.